Good evening. My name is Odie Hawkins, and once again, I'm here reading columns that I wrote for the African Times newspaper during the years 1996, 1998. And we're getting somewhere, I think, because it seems that the more I read these old columns, the more pertinent they seem to be to what's happening today. This is a very short column. I call it Africans. And, well, let me get to it. Hi, Zola, how are you?
I'm well. How about you?
I see you over there behind the camera.
Yes, indeed.
You didn't thought I saw I
yes.
see.
Hiding here.
Okay. Zola Salena-Hawkins, the finest director, photographer, comedian, friend,
we hope,
wife I ever had.
Why, thank you, Odie.
And I'm not just kidding.
You're a good husband and friend.
Fascinating to study the African stereotypes that many African Americans have held on to for so long. During the course of the Negrocentric era, Negroes made every effort to put as much distance psychologically, physically, and emotionally between themselves and Africa. As much distance as possible. Africa was a huge, steamy place way over yonder, filled with primitive types who fought hand to paw with wild beasts and ate their flesh, if they won. The Negrocentrics worked hard to keep their heads straightened, ironed, starched, their skins artificially lightened. I didn't know until I went to Ghana they were doing the same things in Ghana.
Oh my, oh my.
Oh.
How sad.
The Negrocentrics worked hard to keep their heads straightened, ironed, starched, their skins artificially lightened. Check out your Ebony of that era for casual validation. Africans, of course, were considered unattractive. There were always exceptions to this mode of thinking, but any African American family album will clearly show how bumpy the playing field was. I can recall being forced to remove the portrait of a gorgeous black-skinned Tutsi woman from my high school locker by a Negrocentric teacher who said, I'm quoting, "Take that ugly picture out of your locker this instant." It's amazing how much this teacher resembled a woman who was in my locker.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
People of African descent from the islands were not granted more props than Africans on the continent. West Indians were monkey chasers, banana jockeys, coconut heads. This was pre-Bob Marley and Colin Powell. Afro-Cubans were conga players who oiled their black bodies and practiced weird rituals. Wasn't Dizzy Gillespie's conga player, conga drummer, Chano Pozo from Cuba? Didn't he oil up and chant? You bet he did. You bet he did. I'm not going to get into that, but he played. Many North American Africans, or maybe you could say many North African Americans, were unaware. Some are still unaware of the other African American communities in Mexico, Central America, Colombia, Peru, Venezuela, Brazil, and when they are informed, don't seem to care a whole lot. We had a thing with small collection of expatriates in Ghana, where I went to live for 3 years in the 90s. We would call African Americans who came to Ghana with all of their Negrocentric habits, Negrocentrics. Not Afrocentrics, you get the joke.
Right, right.
In one of the restaurants we went to, which we also went to and enjoyed very much, the Country Kitchen. I remember a black family, mother and father and 2 kids, little boy, little girl, who went around Accra with their children carrying balloons on a stick, like they were, I don't know, at a
Carnival?
Fair, country
Carnival,
fair or
yeah,
something.
yeah.
I don't know where they thought they were, but they treated being in Accra, Ghana, like it was a country fair or something. So when you saw them at the Country Kitchen, for example, the mother and the father were dressed up like people on safari. You know, the guy might have the big safari hat on and some lion's tooth. It's actually a true story.
Oh my.
With some lion teeth around his neck, and you know, they were trying to look imperialistic. I think the woman showed up one day with fly whips or something. I mean, they were just totally out there.
Did not know where they were at.
They had no idea what I think somebody probably suggested to them, you got to take the kids to Africa to let them see what that's like. And the kids were just brats. They were badly behaved. You know, I don't want that. I don't like that.
Oh,
Ugh, that smells funny. You know, this all this kind of thing.
Embarrassing.
And you know, if anybody had told them that you know, you behaving like the ugliest Americans anybody ever seen, they probably would have been willing to go to blows with you. But it's like the couple we met at the Acacia Lodge one night, who were pre-Trump, before Trump ever.
Right.
They were so far back. They were voting for Dr. Carter, whatever the guy, the black
so,
guy
yeah.
was,
Right, yeah.
wonderful neurosurgeon.
Right.
Carson.
Carson, yeah, leave it
Yeah,
at
Dr.
that.
Carson. Oh, Carson's going to win. You know, what are you talking about, man? The guy's a wonderful
Surgeon.
neurosurgeon, but if you listen to his politics, he hadn't said anything about us. He hadn't said anything about anybody, frankly. You know, what are you going to do about people starving in the streets? What are you going to do about Social Security? What about health care? What about this? What about that? All the things that they don't seem to have access to in Ghana at that time, we might have access to if we had the kind of president who would go for that, but it won't be Carson. Anyway, that's the kind of Africa that I'm talking about here when I say Afrocentric. I'm looking forward to tomorrow night.
Okay. Well, let's say Monday night. Monday.
Excuse me?
Today is Friday night. So,
oh my God.
Yeah, so we...
I'm ahead of myself.
Yeah, so we'll...
Okay, so we're
coming Monday.
At Tuesday.
Yeah, Monday or Tuesday, yeah.
This is Monday and that'll be Tuesday.
Okay, we'll just change up the calendars, no problem. That's what...
I'm 2 days ahead of myself.
That's what adults who love to be kids do. Okay.
I love being ahead of myself.
I love you being ahead of yourself too. And your website is www.odiehawkins.com and
It.
Ness.